What Are You Drinking Now here at the office. Yes, episode 36.
36.
Josh is
So glad we made it.
It almost feels like a milestone, but it's not at all.
36? Well, you divide that by 9, and that's 3.
No, stop. That's 4.
It's been a long day.
Wow. Who has the master's degree?
Not me.
So I'm pulling into the latter fifth of my day right now. I'm making bad decisions.
Ohio State may have had a point.
So, Josh is hitting on the for his palate cleanser, the Ace Blackjack, correct?
Ace Blackjack, delicious, 9%.
Just came out of the shop. Is it 9%? Is that what it says on the
It
bottle?
is 9%.
Did you show him the bottle?
I know that varies between 9 and 14%.
The bottle's empty in there.
Yeah. It comes in a tall boy, guys. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a wine glass.
It's a 750 ml bottle, but it's 9% aged Chardonnay Brunels, and it's delicious to a fault.
I look forward to it because I have one chilling down for me for this evening.
I'm actually a big supporter of. Josh poured it in a wine glass. I think it had a great aesthetic in the wine glass. It looked like sparkling
It
Chardonnay.
looks delicious. That's the last little bit I got of it. It looks like
nice
Chardonnay.
straw color. It's really good.
So for my palate cleanser, I've got one of the other new beers we got in today, the Seven Clans Blonde Ale. This is a brewery. It's a Native American brewery, I believe.
Nice. I'm very glad you didn't say Indians.
I know the right thing to say. I don't always say it, but I do know the right thing to say.
I know the right thing. I don't always do it.
So
the first peoples.
Wouldn't the correct one be indigenous peoples?
Well, that raises a whole other question because who are the Navajo and where did they come from? So whatever.
So the Seven Clans Blonde Ale. Also, the other thing about this is another all-female owned brewery.
Oh.
That is what I was told. I could be wrong, but we will find out. But I'm pretty sure that's the way the story goes.
Wow.
It's a little bit different for a blonde ale. Still very good.
Does it taste like more of a brunette?
Oh, hey, Nick, what are you drinking for your palate cleanser?
I was hoping we'd avoid that joke.
Well, like a brown ale.
Guys, I got a nice pint of the
Strawberry.
Lost Coast Indica. This is a classic palate cleanser for Nicholas. For those of you who've been watching this, Rob's got it back in stock. I just wanted to brag. $2.75. This is a great hit every single day of the week. This is your quintessential West Coast IPA. 6.7%, just right on with the bitters. It just hits every mark that you're looking for a nice, refreshing West Coast IPA.
And what's the other claim to fame for Lost Coast?
It's another beer brewed exclusively, or the brewery, I wouldn't say it's exclusively brewed by women now, but the brewery was founded by a group of women.
First brewery.
That's right, it's the first brewery, American craft brewery founded by women, yeah.
And they pump out nothing but good beer at Lost Coast.
The only one I don't like is the Great White.
But that's a style thing for me.
Probably.
Why
Yeah.
I don't like wit beers,
Yeah.
so I don't like it.
I think if you like really sharp wit beers, it's right in there.
If I actually drank Blue Moon, I'd probably like it, but
The
I don't.
tangerine tends to do a little better than the Great White.
Yeah, Shock Top causes deep emotional trauma.
Yeah, but
for me.
Shock Top isn't.
Shock Top's a wit.
But it's not Lost Coast.
It's not.
So, what beer do we want to do first? I see a couple over there in the ice bucket.
All right, so we have an IPA or we have a lager.
Well, let's start with the lager.
All right.
Ooh. Okay.
What? No,
And-
I have a lager too.
That's yours, isn't it?
Oh, you have a lager. You have a lager and a lager.
Yeah.
We'll do your lager first.
So
Logging it in.
you didn't pick the other one. Josh did. I almost bet Christina that you would have picked that.
The 24.
Yeah.
I had one. I'm gonna save my views till we get to it because I'm actually glad that he picked it because there's some cool stuff to talk about with that beer. There's cool stuff to talk about with this beer. I actually tried both over the weekend.
I have as well.
Let me just read something for you guys. The Familiar Rule. Challenging in process, traditional in method, Rookeller Helles is inspired by old world brewing techniques in the likeness of the traditional name. We crafted this Helles with the finest of ingredients, the utmost of care, and years of experience in brewing extraordinary craft lager. Rookeller Helles is an easy drinking and full-bodied with light bitterness, touch of sweetness, clean, crisp finish. I've had a lot of guys, you know, where
Tell them the name of it.
that's it. It's called the Rookeller Helles, the brewery, spelled Bruery. So, did we try something from these guys recently? I can't remember.
We did the Relax. It's another hazy.
That's right. Yeah.
Because that's offshoot through the brewery.
Because I remember talking about the name of them and stuff. But
they make a lot of really good beer.
So Relax was cool because it really was just so well crafted that even though we were tired of hazies, we dug it.
If only it had been my first hazy.
I wanted to get this beer out there and visually apparent to people because this is this crystal clear lager that some of the old guys have been asking for, and myself as well.
My question is, they put in all that wordplay on, Christmas clearness, freshness, all that stuff. Do they mention anywhere on the can that they adhere to the German purity laws?
I can tell you right now, smelling this, it does.
Well, old world brewing techniques.
So it's German style, but they don't necessarily adhere to all the purity laws.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily.
I can tell you by the smell that
that's
it does.
That's one claim to fame that one of the local breweries, semi-local breweries, North Carolina breweries.
There aren't any adjuncts in this. This is malt. This is hops.
This is what I loved about it. Right away, Josh gets to it. The smell. My dad was a Beck's beer drinker. I remember that smell that his mug would have. That would be in my dog's beer during the second half of the Bulls game.
I like this beer before I even drink it.
Yeah, everything about it. The color.
This has got that little funk smell to it.
It has that like garage beer smell,
Yeah.
just reminiscent of Dad's old beer. And so this is the craft beer that's going to hit the mark that the old guys. Oh, I only drink Ginlings.
The crazy thing about this,
real German
the
beer.
body is a little heavier than your typical Helles, but you get that clean, almost metallic, grassy hop on the back end. So that's traditional noble hops right there. That's the German Czech hops right there.
My dad was a low and brown.
Yeah, I think there's probably a little bit of Saaz next to the Noble, just the way I feel. There might be something
would
else.
be a noble hop.
Okay. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so they're all considered the noble hops.
Oh, hello, Carbot.
Salute.
Oh yeah, I remember this guy.
So, definitely, I get that like was you were saying, or you were saying the metallic garage
That
tang,
little bit, the metallic taste.
Almost
that's
reminiscent
a natural
of
thing.
how that metallic creaminess that comes out of like a Kolsch.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see similar activity out of these malts. Now we're brewing a little differently when we do a lager.
So what this makes me think is that they RO'd the water and recreated mountain water for Germany.
See,
to
I
get
got
that, because depending on the mineral content, like the minerals really pop in this. But this is this tastes exactly like a Helles should. This is really good.
As a reminder,
I got like
since
that
we
Sound of Music, like Alpine Meadows feel, just like
Like
right
the
as
hills
soon as
are
I
alive with
taste
the
it.
sound of music. Is
Yeah.
that how that goes?
So
Doe deer, female deer.
as a reminder, since we have two loggers tonight, how about
Isn't there a song about a goat?
how about explaining a logger
Oh yeah.
again?
Uh,
We've
so-
done it before, but we haven't had a logger in a long
a
time.
few keys to let's put lager juxtaposed to ale, okay? So we can just talk about it this way. Josh, stop me when I'm wrong. I'll just give it a first run here. Lagers are going to be bottom fermented, usually at a colder temp. They use a yeast that is more advantageous at that lower temp. Lagering comes from the German word like to cave beer, so sometimes you hear people talk about cave beer. They used to store it in caves and even actually ferment sometimes. Originally, probably because when you made beer, you wanted to hide when you made it.
By the way, that's a bummer, Carlo.
Oh no!
Oh. Where are you from again?
Yeah, where is this Carblo?
So anyway, while he's
So
typing
yeah,
that in,
So the lagering comes from the caving.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Paella, we had that long
I was
talk.
gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah, that
I
was
did-
paella
I was
night.
gonna say it, but I didn't want to be wrong.
I thought I remembered that he slept.
Good to have you back, man.
So, lagering.
Yeah, it comes from caving. So caving has a very steady temperature in there, probably about averaging 55 degrees, perfect. Balanced humidity. Okay, so you don't have this expansion and contraction rates inside there, and it holds a nice steady thing for the yeast to hold that temp, which is exactly what you want. So you get cold conditioning on top of the barrel aging.
In fact, effectively, you end up with fermentation and filtration at the same time.
Mhm.
Primitive filtration and fermentation at the same time. So
Yeah.
you end up with that crystal clear kind of look. All the solids and everything falls out the bottom.
I'm glad we brought this in. I was looking at it for a couple weeks.
I just think you get really heady.
I love lager.
This is such a great way to wash out these hazy IPAs we've been talking about. It's just throw some crisp lager at it, and then it gets your palate back to center. You're ready for IPAs. You're ready for more dark beers. You're ready for some spring wits.
There might be a brewer out there that get mad with me saying this, but it is a hell of a lot harder to brew this than it is to brew a hazy IPA.
Well, this is something you and I have been talking about. There's a lot of microbrews that jump right to doing ales out there. And Josh and I were kind of raising the question that did they skip a step? Are they jumping too far into the game without doing the original, the lager beer? The Germans did it really well, and they've been doing it under a similar style for centuries now. Many other beer cultures that have arisen, and just as Carvalho says, beer culture. Mexico has a great beer culture now.
But you guys have Estrella Damm
Yeah,
out there in Spain.
wine hit Spain big, man, and Spain went big time wine and some spirits. They started producing spirits, and that's part of the whole thing. I think vacation culture comes in big. Yeah, Barcelona's by Ibiza.
There's got to be a couple of craft breweries in Barcelona, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it's got to be on the rise, especially as those DJs start getting unemployed. Plus, all the German chefs cooking vacation down there, Why do we have to drink? Why do we have to have this? Because this is a staple form of beer. Every beer shelf should have some variety of lager, Helles lager, Pilsner. It needs to be on the shelf. These are classic styles. I love that floral tone in there.
What's the name of the winery there, Carbo? I'm very interested.
That sounds gorgeous. Wait,
Yeah.
One of my favorite Spanish wines is Albarino. I love a good Albarino.
Yeah.
So,
Albarino's kind of notoriously a Basque wine.
Rias
Baixas, right? Is that it?
Ria Bajas.
I'm not going to mutilate it.
I
with,
think I was thinking about this. There's so many different ways of pronouncing X in Europe. Some people it's like a
yes.
shh. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. We know it. Yeah, Rio Bajas.
Now, can you?
How did they pronounce it?
Can you phonetically pronounce that for us over while typing it?
Botches? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they said botches.
All right.
I'll finish it up.
I know we
Oh, we know Carblo.
we did a
We remember this.
Oh, what am I doing? I made a mess.
That's my beer too.
Oh, this is my beer.
Well, I mean, when you're pouring into my glass.
Oh yeah. No, I compensated. All right. So this one is definitely
It's something a little different.
A little hazier, just a little bit of a cloud factor in there, which just tells me it's just going to be heavier.
This has an additive that the other did not have.
This definitely has an additive. This is the Weyerbacher 24th anniversary, and that is intentionally spelled wrong. Imperial Mexican style lager.
So the first thing that comes to mind on Mexican style lager. Do they always put lime in it?
They don't. No, it's normally
So-
just a German style lager.
That explains. Okay.
There's a
I
whole-
did not realize there was lime in this.
There is lime in here. It's also boozy.
Yeah, I remember.
This is
There's
9%
only one
alcohol
other
and
beer
it's 275.
I remember tasting a lot like this. And what's funny is it's totally cross categories, and it's a different brewery. But do you remember the way that the Mas Agave had this mouthfeel, had this
Yeah.
booziness,
Yep.
had the lime feel to it?
And that was labeled as sour, though, wasn't it?
It was an
technically
Imperial
was an
sour.
Imperial sour. This
They don't label this as Imperial.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, Imperial Mexican style lager. Okay.
Yeah, they sure do. Right there on the front of the can.
Oh yeah.
So what?
Right away I catch that.
What
now
you're
I
seeing
get that
is
there's lime
right
in
now
it.
is the Weyerbacher 24th anniversary
yeah, we are definitely in
Mexican
America.
style lager.
We are definitely in America.
You're coming back to Europe. Okay, I got you. Yeah. What goes around comes around. Most of us are European ancestry. So yeah, we'll come back to it. We've got some type of European ancestry.
I mean,
Germans.
I think we're getting a little lost in translation on this one, Carblo. But yes, we would love to visit the European Union and several cities within Germany, Spain, or France. I'm not gonna pick it apart. No.
I want to go to Ibiza.
No, I think he means our tastes are coming back to Europe, like the beer and
Oh.
and the wine and so forth.
Yeah. Well, the American palate's maturing, and be part of that maturation process is.
I mean, doesn't everyone want to go to Ibiza? At least once?
So, the beer.
This tastes like malt liquor.
I heard you were going to say that. It's definitely boozy. It's creamy too. It's limey.
It is good. It tastes like really nice malt liquor.
I'm really.
This thing
From-
punched me in the face before. Like, it's so smooth, and the booziness, it makes you want to just keep washing it down. But it's got the punch of.
This was the start into whatever the heck my Saturday night turned into.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now you know how you got that text.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Yeah, this is totally one of those beers that has you reviewing your text from last night, going, "Oh, is that how I sound?"
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. I did not.
It's really solid. I will say it's a little sweet. It's definitely boozy. It does not do anything to hide the booze aspect to it.
It definitely does remind me of the one you mentioned before from Founders.
Yeah, the Mas Agave. There's a lot of similar characters here, and it just kind of draws some questions there.
So, difference between this lager and the other lager, definitely not as clear and crisp. Like I said, it's got a little creaminess to me.
Yeah, so this is the question I started having is, it doesn't say anything about it, but is there some sort of aging or what?
But I think it's flake corn.
Yeah, it's maize, flake maize.
It tastes like corn.
So it gives it this little sour note.
I mean, there's a
Well,
Little
there is
red there.
lime. There is lime in this. Like there is lime added to this, but the texture, the body, and the sweetness is all corn,
maize.
which is corn.
Flake maize. Oak tannins.
You know what maize is?
Oak.
It's a word.
Tannins.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maize is one letter too long to spell corn. There's 5 letters in maize. M-A-I-Z-E. One letter too many to say corn.
All right.
Yeah.
You got it in the head with a hockey stick, didn't you?
Yeah. No, it's really the puck caught me right on the.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord.
Caught me right in the temple
So-
of the puck.
One thing, other difference here. We got the from the Rukeller Hells, 5.2% on that guy, 9% on this guy,
Yeah, this is big. Like it is.
475 on the Rukeller Hells per can,
Mm-hmm.
275 on this guy.
Bang for your buck.
Bang for your buck right here.
Again, harkening back to the malt liquor
And
reference, but in the best
Josh
way
got
possible.
Josh got the bang Saturday night apparently.
I think so. It is bang
I
for
think
your
that's a
buck.
really weird, bad way to say that.
Truth hurts, doesn't it?
I received no bang Saturday night.
Oh man, Carbo, you don't like the canned beer? It's what's popular in America. Everybody wants it the can. You can take it to the beach. You can take it on the trail. And here's the big thing: we do a lot of shipping by truck. It ships cheaper. It chills faster, and it's non-UV responsive. So canning has been the big way to go.
The
However,
other thing, if you like draft beer, you drink it from a can.
yeah,
Yeah,
those are just big cans.
Everyone here knows I'm a big proponent of draft beer. I think draft beer is the only way beer should be drank, but you can't carry a keg with you to court.
Beers from American Air.
Yeah, we have some. We're not a big import carrier here, but
Stone's probably gonna be, Stone's probably gonna be in Europe, and that's probably in cans because I know Stone pretty well, but I know they were starting exportation. Aviator from North Carolina is international, but I don't know if they made it outside of Thailand and Singapore yet. So
The other thing too, I know.
sounds like Europe doesn't want the glass.
Europe likes glass because they reuse bottles.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. The difference here too is the U.S. doesn't reuse the bottles the way the Europeans do.
No, we
They-
melt it down and make new bottles.
They sanitize and reuse the bottles.
Well, yeah, but you can tell when you buy European beer, like there'll be scuffs and stuff in the glass, but they try and polish all that out. Where you say it's way more green than what we do over here.
Dude, the ones in Peru had like powder coming off the bottom rings.
Oh yeah.
You get like a Cascania and it'd be like scarred around the bottom.
You can sell monkey pee in a bottle. All right, so
You're not wrong with that one, Carlo.
let's go ahead and move on to the wine tonight.
Ugh.
If you put the monkey paw in with it, you could just say it's lucky.
So tonight we're going to do one style of wine that I don't do a whole lot of.
By the way,
That's a
Carlo,
Chardonnay.
is that a Renault
Is that
joke?
Chardonnay?
Yes,
My
It's a
Carlo.
Buttery
this is
Chardonnay?
a California Oak Chardonnay.
Oh, so it's a butter bomb?
Not quite, but it's getting there. This is Bianchi.
Rob says not quite. Wait till we find out, Josh.
Yeah, I may be pulling your leg here. But that's this is the Bianchi Signature Series 2017 Chardonnay, Santa Barbara County. So not quite Napa, but not too far away. A lot of the same style of.
Oh yeah, no, but I
Growing
prefer the
characteristics.
first way you spelled that. The Bianchi is way better than Bianchi.
That is funny.
Yeah, Bianchi Carlo.
My wine rep actually brought this in here because he thought we'd sell bunches and bunches of it because we have a local brick company
I
called
like this guy's
Bianchi Brick,
English jokes. I really do.
Um,
This is good stuff.
and
Bianchi.
Bianchi Brick. They do like the wine, but they don't buy a whole lot of it like he thought, like our rep thought they would.
She likes red.
This,
She likes Italian.
She'll do. She likes whites for the summer.
Yeah.
I can't say like it doesn't smell like a butter bomb, but it also could be ridiculously cold. But it's definitely
Yeah, so
It's got some toasted butter on the nose, man.
Yeah, it does.
according to Wine Spectator, we are serving this white a little bit too chilled.
It came from room temperature to ice. It's been in ice for about 45 minutes before we serve it. So yeah, it's probably a little cold.
But it's got that like brown butter kind of smell to it.
A lot of vanilla. and then like pear.
Corbleau, this is what I always tell people: is just start trying wines, and taste them. Don't just drink them, but really taste them. Go through these processes.
This
Sniff
is
the wine,
This is not the kind of Chardonnay you like.
examine the
No.
color.
No, this is the
Swirl.
antithesis of you, Rob.
so.
This is everything I love right here.
So I pulled this just because,
Oh.
well, one, we got a new shipment of them, but two, I knew that I've been doing some wines that I particularly like lately, and that it wasn't necessarily fair to pick stuff that either wasn't just what, I mean, it was just what I liked. It wasn't necessarily what I wasn't too concerned whether anybody else is going to like it. I remember Josh telling me that he liked buttery Chardonnays.
It's
If you pulled out 2 pieces of toasted bread and spread me out in the middle of it with a little butter slathered on top of me, gave me a glass of this wine, I'd be happy.
I do like that there's like, so this tends more
I'm not
towards the
styling,
French
but-
styling than just the purely American California styling. There's like some spice tones in there, so I get like some vanilla, French vanilla.
There's a lot of vanilla in this. This is 100% American oak. This is not French oak.
You know, the other thing I do get too, the more it sits on my palate, I'm getting like back end, I'm getting pineapple.
Yeah, there's some fruit in there. for
Pineapple
sure.
fruit. I get a good degree of spice. About halfway through, just like when the oak is initially hitting there. there's a
Soft
little bit of
pineapple,
spice.
not really tart, but
Yeah.
like soft, mushy,
Yep.
golden yellow pineapple.
Stuff you get out of the can.
Yeah, or you've already cut it and you let it sit in the fridge for a day, which I did just the other day.
No joke, pineapple.
Stuff you'd put in a Don Ho.
Yeah, crush it up, put it on your Don Ho pizza.
But I get a lot of oak and a lot of butter out of this.
And I still get that pear on the back end of the nose.
It's lively though. There's
I will
some
say
fire in here.
I get a little more pear than I do pineapple.
The pear's not hitting me on the palate though. I think I'm getting a lot of butter, a lot of vanilla.
What do they mean when they say spicy pear, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Have you never?
I know prickly pear, but I don't know spicy pear.
Prickly pear is actually a cactus, right?
Yeah.
I
You've
mean, they
never
eat it
dipped
like
a
fruit.
pear slice in cayenne and eaten it
No, maybe cinnamon.
with like a little bit of vermouth to wash it down?
Have you?
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just making stuff up.
No. That's like a really good way to enjoy a martini.
So I've got to say, back in the early 2000s, every Chardonnay coming out of California was trying to beat each other up with butter.
I was in 5th grade.
And this is where I got turned off on it. As I was selling wine, I would look for more and more
There's nuttiness to this too. Man.
steel cask Chardonnays
Oh yeah.
because it bring out the crispness. There's no crispness to this. It's just round, and when I say buttery, I'm also talking about the mouthfeel where you get kind of flabby in there with butter.
It reminds me of Sean Connery era James Bond. Smooth. Compared to Roger Daltrey.
Roger Daltrey.
Okay.
Roger Daltrey. Roger Daltrey was in the Who. I think he's talking about Roger Moore.
Timothy
I'm
Dalton.
more of a George Lazenby guy.
Timothy
so-
Dalton. Timothy Dalton. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, Timothy
The
Dalton.
funny thing was,
He's as rough as it gets.
the funny thing was, he said Roger Daltrey or whatever. But I knew he was talking about
You know,
Timothy Dalton.
Dalton was originally selected for Her Majesty's Secret Service, 1969, because he was acting in the London Actor Theatre. He was doing almost purely just Shakespeare at that point. He turned down the role because he didn't want to get hemmed in as being 007. But then, like 10 years later, he ends up being, like 15 years later, he ends up being the 007 that broke the
At
mold.
least he's not Christopher Lambert, who's really only been Highlander.
Oh, okay. I was like, he's never been 007.
Anything besides Highlander.
You know, Pierce Brosnan got picked for 007 back in the 80s.
And they finally
Actually, it was like a very similar story as the Dalton story. They sort of
And
repeat.
they couldn't get him off of Remington Steel quick enough.
No, that was good money.
I thought Brosnan did a good Bond, but you know, a lot of people.
I don't know, I'm
We
torn
sell
with
to
this.
our own community, Carbo.
You don't
We're
like it.
we're
I
a
mean, you
local
can give it
bottle
all to
shop,
me.
so we're not worried
Yeah,
about
well, I
shipping
will
to
also
China.
remind you tomorrow, like how much I hate you for doing this, but I
Uh,
love this stuff. Like
and
this.
so
tastes-
as far as our bottle shop, we don't do shipping or anything like that.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, we're a local bottle shop. We're not a distributor. I'm sure that some of these wines are going.
Being in America,
across the-
isn't it a little weird?
So
to sell in China right
Carbo's
now?
question is really important though, because
We're actually from North Carolina, other side of the country,
You
close,
got-
closer to Spain.
You've got a lot of the right letters in the
Yeah,
second
just-
word,
just
but
like-
it's not Carolina, it's California.
so China's a huge market in red wine and sparkling wine right now, and I'm sure they're drinking whites, but they are huge in red wine and sparkling wine right now. And you know
They're not drinking a lot of wine right now. They're kind
they were buying
of
up.
coughing and sneak.
I think they're drinking a lot of orange juice right now.
Well, and whiskey. American whiskey's popular there too.
Whatever it takes to stop being sick.
Look, what's going on in Wuhan in the middle of the country?
I knew
Honestly,
we'd get Nick serious in a minute.
yeah, let's laugh a little bit. We in this country care more about this virus than they do in that country. Just understand that's what the controversy truly is.
I don't know that is.
Oh, China just wants to keep trade open.
Oh, we are approaching one of the big red flags. There's a big red light above my head going off, and we gotta stop this one. How about this one?
So here's my question: China wants to keep trade open. They're using their market in purchasing wine and whiskey. We are approaching a zone with lots of tariffs. So who's going to purchase this French
I'm
wine?
not gonna lie, Carblo, I'd probably have to Google that name to understand the reference. Rob, do you know the reference?
Nope. Sure don't. But this tastes a lot like the Chardonnays I used to sell.
This is everything you hate
yeah.
in the Chardonnay. This is everything I love in the Chardonnay.
I'm glad you like it, cause anyway, so why don't we get back to rating these beers and getting these wines and
I think that's a great idea.
and all
Yeah, I got another sip of this Weyerbacher. I held back on my wines, guys. You know I'm an oak sensitive guy, so you gotta be careful there.
Chilean wine. Okay.
I was gonna say.
Oh, Torres.
Torres.
Okay, I got that name reference now.
Yeah, we're sitting on Sierra Butico right now. Got a Sauv Blanc and a Cabernet
Our
Sauvignon.
Carboneros are from Chile too.
Yeah.
But I am now familiar with Miguel Torres. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. So the Helles Lager.
Oh, dude, that is you gotta just pick this up. Remind yourself why you drink beer. It may not be your go-to, it may not be your favorite, but this is like ground zero in beer world, and these guys did a perfect brew. Everybody needs to know about lagers, about a Helles lager. It is like the ideal German lager. Yeah, it's
What-
quintessential.
What is real quick? Also, what is the difference? Do you know between a Helles Lager and a German Lager?
It's not a Bavarian lager. It's more like a Munich lager.
Yeah, Munich
Okay.
Helles.
Okay.
So Munich would be the region that the Helles came from.
All right.
Dunkel comes from. Well, it's a darker Helles, but they're all regionally named and based.
Okay.
It's probably based on a city that it came from.
All right. Excellent. So rating on that guy.
See Healer up München. Rating, this is a 5 point on a 5 point scale because it fits its category.
He keeps changing the scales up.
Sometimes
he's,
you
he's,
need
he's,
to.
he's keeping me on my toes.
It's fair. It's fair.
It's gonna get a thumbs up, but I want to let you know that this hits the 5 points. This is a beer true to its category, and the most amazing part is having a lager that tastes this good. That's a craft brew from America. That's really what it's all about. If we can make what our chatter is talking about online, if we can get to the quality of competing with actual German beers, now we're talking.
I'm down.
Okay. So you give it perfect score for you, right? Is that
Yeah,
what you
that's
said?
a perfect score. It really is. That's a perfect beer.
I'm gonna say this was probably one of the best beers I've had in a long time. I do really like it a lot. One, it's not a hazy IPA.
Yay!
There is God.
But yeah, it has definitely a different flavor profile than any IPA. This is reminiscent of the first craft beers I ever remember drinking when I started coming out of the Miller Lite, Bud Light cave and started dipping my toes into what could be considered craft beer. So very crisp, light, not necessarily light in calories like a light beer the Americans know, but I'm just talking like body wise. Crisp and light, clear, has a distinct flavor to it, and I'm very on board with it as well. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs. I'll go 2 thumbs on this one. I do like it a lot. I'm very, very pleased with it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to agree with popular opinion. 2 thumbs. That beer is absolutely amazing. No, that is exactly what a Hella should taste like. It's just right here, right now. It's perfect. I mean, that beer is really, really solid. The brewery knocked it out of the park again. I've had very few bad beers from them.
Yeah.
They're not the most common beers over here on the East Coast. They tend to be a little more common towards the West Coast.
True.
And they're not cheap on the East
True.
Coast. But you get what you pay for anytime you pay for their product. That is a damn perfect beer.
Excellent. How about your beer? The Weyerbacher.
Weyerbacher, 1 thumb up.
Got it right there, Nick.
It's strong. It tastes good. It's cheap. But it will remind you of what it is.
Yeah.
It's a solidly well-made beer. It knows, tongue-in-cheek, what it is because it should say 24th. It says 24'd. 24 RD instead of 23rd. So it even knows what that beer is on the can. It is a beer that you will have a lot of fun with when you want to have a lot of fun with a beer.
It is very true to the label. It is a party. It's a mini little fiesta. It is a celebration of Mexican culture with that cerveza style brewing. But we talked about how the Helles Lager is the inspiration behind the Mexican lager, and then here's an expression of a Mexican lager done with oak, lime, and an imperial style, and it gets into this larger category of other aged American beers that we found that are basically in top class. When we start talking about Founders and stuff like that, we're talking top class American beers. So it's really good to know Weyerbacher's hanging in that zone. They're one of the pioneers out in Washington State, I believe. Let's just double check. Easton, PA, guys,
Wow.
is where this is brewed
East
right
Coast.
now. Yeah, so I believe they were.
Is that Amish country?
I was trying to remember if they had a different brewing center before then, but Easton's outside of Amish back into industrial belt. So Easton's not too far out of Wilkes-Barre, Bethlehem. So it's basically where Lancaster comes right up on rail country.
So, rating for you, Nick?
This one, I want to give it like the full thumbs up. There's just something a little curious with the taste. I don't know if Nick could drink this all night long, but as far as an Imperial to pop open at the party, like, go for it.
All right.
You can make it 7:30.
Yeah, I get. Oh yeah.
So for me,
Yeah. I might lose a glass slipper though.
I'm gonna say that the first time I had this, I was really impressed with it. I got that Masagave feel, like Nick said, instantly. Masagave, in case you know, is a sour by Founders. It's a Mexican style lime based, I think tequila barrel aged sour. But it wasn't quite Masagave level, obviously. However, it is an Imperial, 9%. It is, the can does say, make you think of a party. It does look a little like Day of the Dead type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if this actually came out originally around that time period.
Well, they said
That's what
brewed in the
November.
winter.
It's like November.
Yeah.
El Dia de los Muertos.
So I'm wondering if this is tail end that we got it on. However, I'm gonna say I did like it a lot more the first time I had it. The second time I had it, I was starting to get into the different characteristics, and I did notice the creaminess. I did notice more of the alcohol as far as like the booziness that Josh brought up.
There are some clear adjunct flavors coming through with that, which is not bad the first time you have it, and then the more you have it, the more pronounced it gets.
I'm gonna say that if I was rating this the first time I had it, I probably would have given it a 1.5. I'm going to give it barely a 1 right now. I think price point, it's great. I mean, bang for your buck, 9% for $2.75. I think that it's one of those that you're going to mistakenly buy a 6-pack of it and then hate yourself about halfway through it.
You're gonna really hate the morning,
and then you're going to hate yourself even more in the morning. So I'm going to give it a 1.
Smelling just the can, I'm feeling like someone poured out some beer and just put margarita in here and just called it a deal.
Oh, yeah.
So moving on, we got the Bianchi Chardonnay. It is a butter bomb. It is from Santa Barbara County, California. This guy probably spent, I'm going to guess, at least 18 months on oak, and it has gotten a lot of vanilla and a lot of that malolactic out of that. Nick's having a nervous session with the label.
I'm just trying to have some fun with our baby.
So,
Oh my god.
so I think, like I said, it's a big butter bomb. It's an $18 bottle of wine. It's worth it for me at $18. I'm not going to drink this every day. Not like the ladies in the 2000s were drinking Chardonnay every day. I think for me, this is going to be 3/4 of a thumb. If it were stainless steel cask, I'd probably like it a whole lot more. There is definite quality into the product though. So just because of my personal preference, don't, get me completely, take me completely wrong. This has a lot of complex issues to it. I wouldn't have got those flavors that I did if it wasn't complex and well made. So like I said, I'm going to give this, what I said, 3/4 of a thumb.
Which is a lot for you with
Yeah.
a buttery shard. I'm proud of you.
Well, how about you?
Me, I'm gonna give this one a solid 1.25.
Yeah.
For a buttery shard, it's pretty good. It's not. I wouldn't quite label it a butter bomb. I mean, it's pretty aggressive with the yolk and the butter, but it wouldn't. It's not coating my mouth with like the thick butter and the mallow that I get with a lot of crazy butter bombs.
Yeah, but I'm not getting any acid on it either.
There is no acid, so I will say that does not help.
Yeah, as
me.
far as we got with fruit was pear and pineapple.
Yeah.
So.
No, not $80. Oh Lord, God no.
No,
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.8, not
clarify
8.0.
that.
Yeah.
Very different. If this was $80, then there would be a very different thing coming out of my mouth right now.
Yeah.
It's a solid buttery shard, so it gets that 1.25. I have had far better. I have had far worse.
I agree with you.
Price point is good though.
So, I like this wine. It's well put together. It's full bodied. I'd really be curious. I didn't really get a big feel on what kind of foods I'd want to pair this with, but I feel like this is a wine that's all
Chilean
about.
sea bass.
You're dumping this whole bottle on me.
I might have a little bit more, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like nailing the dish you serve with this is really where it's at. And just doing like a chicken beurre blanc or something like that, it's not gonna quite do it. I think what Rob was after, like a peppercorn beurre, Chilean sea bass or something like that. Like, just sticking with your simple flavors. Play off of some of what's in here. Try some tropical fruit with your fish, but come back to those butters, those basic levels, because this is not high acidity. This is more about the base tones. We did get some pear in there, so I wouldn't be opposed to just having a lamb chop or a rack of lamb with some nice applesauce or pear sauce.
You know what would be cool with this is if you cut up some honeydew and cantaloupe. Tossed around.
Honeydew's in right now.
If you cut honeydew and cantaloupe up, tossed around some plain yogurt, a little bit of tarragon, like fresh cut tarragon.
Yeah.
To get that crazy kind of herbaceous feel on it, I think that'd go.
It sounds a lot better than putting cottage cheese in the middle of a cantaloupe.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
You should never do
I'm
that.
gonna throw it a thumb, but I'm gonna say this is a 2-thumb system, and one of these thumbs is still like thumb and a quarter.
You're definitely 100% right.
It's a big wine. It's
Acid wine.
big
is
flavor,
Nice and.
but it's a great deal. So I have to look at this and say, oh, if I was able to get a French white that would fully explore all these tastes, well, that'd be a $26 bottle of wine, this at least. And then given the tariffs coming up, so this is $18. I can entertain my guests. Guys, can we just talk label appeal and bottle and everything?
It's
They
very
put a
clean, crisp.
big Chardonnay bottle here, Bordeaux style, black label with gold stuff. So it's really classy. This would really show up well at a nice dinner party.
And when you see a shard in a bottle like this, you know it's going to be a butter bomb. I mean, like when you see shards in glass like that, it just reeks of old school shard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, of course, the pioneers of Chardonnay were the French. So.
All right. So.
Oh, Carlos says stop talking with the French.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to actually end up stop talking altogether. We've all given our ratings. That brings us to the end of episode 36.
It is 36.
36. We'd like for you to like, comment, and follow.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Subscribe. Okay.
Yeah.
Carlo, you're watching us on Twitch, so I'm pretty sure
Tell your
you're already
friends,
following,
man.
so.
Get some other people watching this, and we'll get the debate going.
Yeah. If you have any questions, if you're watching this on YouTube, and you have any questions about how to get onto Twitch and follow us live, come on into the shop. One of these guys can tell you.
Yeah, we're lonely. We like talking to other people, so if you pop up, we'll probably say something to you.
So we're going to wrap it up and get out of here. Carbo, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
And we will check you later. And everybody, we'll see you next week.
I went from